You're listening to Rock Solid People, a podcast by Max King.
The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph.
Welcome to Rock Solid People. My name is Max King. I'm the CEO of Care Support. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Devon from Careview. Devon Hamon? Is that pronounced correctly? Devon Hamon?
Spot on.
Mate, Careview, as I've just mentioned to you, is, in my opinion, one of the intrinsic pieces of the complex NDIS puzzle. It is a piece of software that Care Support use, and we're going to deep dive into some of the other statistics, I think, around how many other people you have using the platform. But for me, it's a really good piece of what it does, what it says on the tin. As an organization like us, supporting over 1,500 clients, we rely on the ease of use and the functionality of Careview on a daily basis. It's without doubt, in my mind, one of the key pieces of delivery of support coordination plan management. And I'm very excited to hear a little bit more about it. So thank you very much for joining us, Devon.
Welcome, Max. Good to be here.
Yeah, let's kick into it. So I'm keen to just get a little bit of the backstory. So Careview, it's 2017 you was the genesis of the idea. So Devon, could you tell us a little bit about you and your journey of experience that brought Careview to life?
Yeah, sure, Max. So it's a little bit of a twofold thing. So two events kind of triggered the creation of Careview. One was we have two children that have funding under the NDIS now. So it's kind of, a personal experience. But I was also working from a technical experience with a lot of organizations back around 2014, 2018, that were trying to figure out how they were going to transform their digital technology. So it was a little bit of professional and a little bit of personal experience that kind of got us started.
And in your choice to that, I mean, obviously, you have a technical background, so that's important in the delivery of a piece of technology. The focus on plan management and support coordination, obviously a conscious choice. What was the reasoning behind that?
It was actually almost like an accident, to be honest with you. When I was starting to come up with the idea of Careview, initially I was thinking it was going to be more aimed at direct service providers. But it just happened to be that, we were very lucky, really, back in the early days when we were trying to build the product, that we had a plan manager contact us. And then she sort of had a look at what we had at that point in time. And she gave us some ideas because, prior to talking to her, I'd never met a plan manager before. And this is sort of 2017. So, it's, 4 years ago now. But yeah, that was really the catalyst for us taking this journey down the plan management path. And then sort of about a year later, something similar happened. I spoke to a support coordinator. And again, I hadn't spoken to any support coordinators before that call. But she gave me the ideas in terms of what we could do in Careview to then make it usable for support coordination. So kind of a happy two accident sort of, a little bit of luck along the way, I think, that got us to this point.
Wow. I mean, that's like you say, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? The conversations that have changed your lives, but also just changed thousands of people's lives who rely on Careview. Could you, maybe for those people who don't know, tell us a little bit about Careview, the platform, and how it works?
Yeah, so, it's fundamentally designed for, and I think, our target customer are small to medium-sized enterprises, so service providers that are delivering plan management, support coordination, or a combination of both services. So with Careview itself, it's really been specifically built along efficiencies in those two areas. So that's what we've sort of been focused on is how can we build something that does everything that it needs to do, but also does it in a way that's actually user-friendly and people can pick it up fairly easy and start to use it. So
wonderful. And I'm always curious, that since we signed up with you, Devon, I've always been pushing you for different things that that I think are advancements. And I know that your probably development list has got to be as long as my arm. What are the longer term plans for Careview and the vision for Careview?
Yeah, I think the real end game for where I'm trying to get the platform to is one of connectivity. So, because obviously under the NDIS, you've got a great model where you've got the participant in the middle and they're engaging, different services. So, architecturally with Careview, the way it's built is one day we hope to connect organizations together probably in ways that you can't do at the moment with a lot of systems, because they take such a siloed approach in terms of it's not a bad thing, it's just a thing. So yeah, that's kind of where I want to get Careview to at some point, is whether you're a direct service provider, a plan manager, a support coordinator, a therapist, a consolidated view being created because we can share information between those different organizations. I think would be powerful.
Wow. Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Just and look, I think that's where the NDIS has to drive the digital transformation of this space, and I think that it'll be pervasive across not just those with an NDIS plan, but it'll have a knock-on effect to those people who would have some direct supports or direct services, or who are involved in the space, or whose families are involved in the space. I think that's going to be that's really where we see that connectivity starting to really, I guess, just pay dividends, make the whole cohort more efficient. The issues that we've found, and in fact, I think Careview does directly address this, is the inefficiencies in plan management prior to a piece of software like Careview were glaring. They really called into question scheme sustainability. They made it very difficult for plan managers to make any money from the price guide, from the channel. And now we see lots of different organizations that, because of, as you say, you focus on that small to medium-sized cohort, they are able to perform plan management services and supports in a way that makes it more efficient, makes it viable financially, makes it so that you can have a small cohort, a small team. So, I'm personally, very, very, we're very happy to be on the platform. Question for you in terms of future for plan management. I'm always keen to understand where you think the space is going. If you just take your Careview hat off and you look at the NDIS as a whole, what do you see for plan management and the plan management scope?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's such a valuable service. Like, again, just in terms of our own personal experience, we use a plan manager as well. So, I think the way that they can help someone, and in our own circumstances, we're not, I guess, probably as that's the word I'm looking for. Our kids have probably got low levels in terms of the supports that they need, but certainly if you were someone with high needs, then the role for a plan manager is critical. I think along with obviously the management of the invoicing and generating statements and updates and reports, etc. I think they can also add value in terms of some direction around how the plan is going and where things that you can spend as well.
It's definitely an interesting space. I mean, we've seen some big money flow into the top end of town. We've seen consolidation recently. I think you'll be familiar with Plan Tracker have sold to Plan Partners. It's going to be a movement. I think now there's going to be a bit of a shake-up in the plan management space. We still feel like being an independent plan manager is important for Ozcare Support. We're keen to fly that flag and continue to do what we do as in a way that I think the people benefit from having us using your platform to provide efficiencies of payments. Gone are the days when plan managers are sitting on invoices for 2, 3, 4 weeks. I just don't know of that anymore. Obviously, if there's disputes and there's stuff that needs to be resolved, that's definitely an issue. But it'll be an interesting next 18 months, I think, in the plan management space.
It will be, and I think that's another catalyst for us as well, is to make sure that through a system like Careview or whatever product it is, that there's still that choice and control. So the more companies that we support, and I think that we can make sustainable and successful, then the end result of that is that participants have got greater choice, which is what the scheme is all about. It was supposed to be about anyway, right? So although there's the consolidation might start to happen, I think part of our responsibility is also making sure that there's technology that companies can pick up and use and still be sustainable under the scheme.
Well, and I have to say, to that end, the Careview platform has enabled that. I can absolutely hand on heart say, we were looking at our resources today in our plan management space and wondering how do we need to hire another person to alleviate some of the pressure in the team. And of course, that's always an ongoing challenge. We've had that since day one when we hired from one person to the second person. And now we're talking about from 12 to 13. So that's a challenge that's continuing. But I would say that, in terms of, enabling individual organizations or individual sole traders to be successful in the plan management space, then Careview is a wonderful asset for them. Just a quick one to follow up and finish up on, because, I think we're racing through the questions here, but your experience of the NDIS on a personal and professional level, what's your take on, if we sort of, again, come a little bit out of the Careview lens, what's your take on the NDIS?
Yeah, I mean, I know, I guess my perspective on it is, and again, came from a little bit of a background where it was the block funding model before it as well. So I sort of had an understanding of what that looked like back then. So personally, I think the NDIS is a great thing in terms of, the control, again, going to the participants and their choice and how and where they spend their money. So I'm a big fan of the NDIS, just from a personal perspective, let alone because obviously Careview is delivering service or a software system underneath it. But yeah, I know there's questions around sustainability, and they're talking about the budgets and the cost of the scheme, and obviously that's something that needs to be figured out. But I think fundamentally, it's a brilliant scheme for Australians to be able to take advantage of and get the supports they need. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting, that change that we've all been experiencing recently in the concept of budget blowouts and stuff. For me, I think that's a political change in rhetoric, and I think that's motivated by. I don't think the reality is as stark and as bad as they're making out. I think that's religion is trying to change the public's perception and mindset. And then, these sort of snippets, like it's going to be more expensive than Medicare. To me, that's just a soundbite, and that's just a politically driven thing.
Yeah,
we've seen no evidence of this huge blowout in costs, and that's from a personal perspective from the clients we support. Look, I think that there is conceptually bracket creep. So those people that may not have been accepted to the NDIS are definitely pushing the brackets and trying to get themselves on it. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't you seek some support for your family members or siblings or relatives if there was an opportunity for that? So. Yeah, interesting. I mean, we love the NDIS. We think it's a really powerful scheme. We think it's wonderful to be part of something that is globally unique. So we're excited. And thank you very much, Devon Hamon, from Careview.
Yeah, thanks, Max.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to Rock Solid People. For more interviews, stay tuned.